Hello and welcome to Fire in the Belly. Today we have myself, Mighty Pete, and we're joined by Trenell Walker. Good afternoon, Trenell, or good morning, I should say.
Hey, good morning.
Yes, listen, it's great. So you're calling us all the way from Texas today.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be on here.
Well, listen, it's an absolute pleasure. So Trenell, tell us, who are you, what are you doing, where are you from?
Man, my name is Trenell Walker. I call myself the life enhancing specialist. I'm a motivational speaker, should I say, life enhancing coach, and a Ziegler Legacy certified trainer. I'm here in the great state of Texas, where I was born and raised, and just learning to enjoy life to the fullest, learning to turn tragedy into triumph, and helping others do the same.
So tell me, what does a life enhancing coach do then?
And a life enhancing coach basically learns about what someone wants to do.
Hmm.
And then I provide them with information to be able to enhance their lives to get them from where they are to where they want to be.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. So I mean, you must see people from all sorts of backgrounds.
Oh, yes, I do. I mean, some from, I have from professional to some that's having, disabilities to some just, have experienced a tragic experience in their life and they just need to be helped just to be guided through those things to let them know that, you don't have to go through life looking through the rearview mirror, because
Mhm.
that's the only thing that's going to do is lead you into depression and defeat when you can learn to look in front of you through the windshield of life and to be able to continue the journey no matter what you're going through.
So that's the thing. So I mean, you've been there and you've lived this, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting into this. So, but tell us before we do that, what does fire in the belly mean to you?
I mean, the fire in the belly, it's interesting because I really didn't know what fire in the belly was
Hmm.
until I did some research and really, really that burning sensation inside to really be able to get it out of you, to be able to be a blessing to others so they can light their fire in their belly to be able to achieve whatever they need to achieve in order to, inspire somebody else to continue to light that fire. And it continues to do a ripple effect into eternity.
And is that something? Have you got fire in your belly?
Oh, sure. Man, I got fire in my belly, fire in my heart, fire in my mind. I am a burning inferno.
That's awesome. So I mean, it's great to have that passion and that belief. You know, that's what it's all about, right?
Yes, yes. It's contagious.
Hmm.
Attitude is contagious.
Why attitude?
I mean, attitude because man, I've learned that even with my situation. Um, I'm just gonna share with you a little bit about my situation. At the tender age of 14, I was a freshman on varsity. I was living my dreams, and I was actually, it was the seventh game of the football season. It was like in 1995. I was only 14 years old. I was living my dream. And I remember that night perfectly. I mean, the lights from the Bearcat Stadium shined down on the field, capturing my performance. The cold October breeze nipped at my skin as I walked to the left side of the defensive line to take my position as the defensive back. I remember looking in at the the quarterback from the opposite team, waiting for him to receive the ball. He received the ball and pitched it to the running back headed in my direction. I ran upfield to stop the running back, and as he saw me, he tried to reverse field, and I made a textbook tackle from behind, hitting him, wrapping him up, and driving him toward the ground. Little did I know that my teammate was coming from the opposite side. The running back saw him and ducked underneath, causing my head to go down, and my teammate came from the other side and hit me, shattering my C4 vertebrae, leaving me paralyzed from the neck down. What meant to be my high school glory days turned to temporary defeat. And in my eyes, temporary defeat does not mean permanent failure because nothing beats a failure but a try. I mean, I tried the bad attitude, I tried blaming others, but things didn't change until I changed my attitude and my perspective on how I seen things. From looking at myself as a burden then realize that I'm a blessing to be able to help others get through some similar stuff.
What did it take to get that? Because I mean, obviously that just doesn't happen overnight. I'm sure there's a journey and there's a process, to be able to invert your situation and change your energy and change your attitude.
Yeah, one of what I have called it the Trenell effect. And basically, the Trenell effect will influence you to take action because proper action leads to satisfaction. And then the action that I had to take was really changing my perspective on it, changing the way how I seen things. And one of the ways I had taken action is because I grew up in church, but at that time, man, I was mad at God, frustrated at God because, I mean, why did He even cause this to happen to me?
Mm,
But one of the actions I decided to do, one night with tears rolling down my face, and I was being sick and tired of being depressed and angry for 2.5, about 3 years. And so I realized that, I finally, did what my mom encouraged me to do, even though I didn't want to. Then I was prayed, and I remember asking Jesus to come into my life and have His way. And I heard a tender voice say, Trenell, you put football before me. I don't want anything put before me. But through this injury, I'm inspire others that if they put me first and use their mind to the fullest, they can do anything. And so I had to take action. Hold on, my phone's ringing. So I had to take action. Unplug it and take it. Yeah. So I had to actually that was my way of taking action. And when I did, that made me realize that my situation was actually what happened to me. My life had purpose. And it was more than playing football. And so what I would encourage others to do and is to find something to take action in a positive direction. I mean, you may not be of a religious background and whatnot, but but there is something you can do, a silver lining that you can take to be able to take that action. And then I had to end up being, next thing is the R, and my name is resilient. I had to really just take a step back and really realize, man, there's something that I can do. I've gone through so much in life. I'm like, but I got to be resilient because I learned in football that, you got to take 2 steps back in my defensive position. The most important steps was taking 2 steps back so you can evaluate things. And once you see what they are, you can make a great comeback and make a tackle. So I took that philosophy in life. I'm like, man, I got to be resilient. So I decided to take 2 steps back. Life is going to push you backwards. But I like what Les Brown said. He said, when life knocks you down, learn to fall on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up.
mm-hmm.
And so basically, what I did is like, man, when life pushed me backwards, I took 2 steps back, evaluated, and seeing what actions I needed to do to make a great comeback. And here are 2 questions that I would have anyone to ask themselves to find that silver lining during their time of struggle. Is there something that I can do in my personal and professional life that will make things worse? And then the second question is there something I can do in my personal and professional life that can make things better? Because the first question is going to give you the things that is making your situation worse, which you probably need to stop doing. The second one is going to give you those things that you can do, which is going to open up that silver lining. And once you recognize that silver lining, then that's going to give you hope and encouragement. And this leads us to the E, encourage. You have to encourage in order to help one flourish. And the most important person that's going to talk to you all day long is you. So you have to get into those positive, thoughts about yourself. I'm about to share something with you, and I don't want you to laugh at me. But like in the mornings, I get up, roll into the bathroom. I got a full length mirror in there. And then I find something I like about myself. And I encourage others to do the same in the morning. We always looking in the mirror. We're looking at ourselves like, oh, we need to change this, or I'm too fat, or, man, my hair is going bald. I mean, I need to do something about that. But I look into the mirror and I find something I like about myself. For instance, I look into my eyes and be like, ooh, I like those cocoa brown eyes. Like, I'm like, that smile right there, ooh, that smile makes me smile even more. And then I'll be like, those lips. And then I bite my bottom lip and I'll be like, you are a sexy beast. You have to encourage yourself in order to help others flourish. And when you feel encouraged, you can help others encourage. And this will bring you to the end that never quits. It's impossible to stop a motivated person because he or she will never quit. So, and as you continue to go through life being motivated and never quitting, this leads you to the evaluate, because evaluation can help lead to your destination. And this is where you have to ask yourself, and I've had to ask myself, what is my why? Why do I wake up every morning? And I ask the people that may be listening, why do you wake up every morning? What is your motivation? Are you living your best life? If not, what steps can you take to get there? And after you evaluate your life, you have to learn. This leads you to the next L, learn. And I say, when you learn, you earn respect for yourself, others, and you could possibly earn more money, money, money. You have to learn from your evaluation. Because I remember the poet Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. So you have to go through life just learning, your goals. What are your goals? What are 3 things that you can learn to better your life, to take it to the next level? And after you finish learning, the last L is for love, because love is a gift from above. And this is the hardest thing that I've had to learn is self-love. I mean, we can say we love everyone else and we take care of everyone else. But the most important thing is to love thyself. Because once you genuinely love, once I learned to genuinely love myself and realize, like, man, dude, you are an awesome guy. Despite you being paralyzed from the neck down, I mean, you've been able to go to college and get a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling, as well as a rehabilitation counselor. Dude, you've been able to become a Ziegler Legacy certified trainer, a disc trainer. Man, you are a business owner. You are awesome. And being able to feel that same self-love, now I'm able to share it because it's hard to give something that you don't have. So now that I have that self-love, now I'm able to give that genuine unconditional love to other people. So, and I always say that is the Trenell effect. Let it influence you to take action, be resilient, encourage, never quit, evaluate, learn, and love.
That's
So
beautiful.
those are the 7 steps I like to call the power of perseverance and performance that I've been able to do to get me from where I was, being a scared 14-year-old boy, coming from a single parent home, to where I am now as an adult, continuing to be, successful and living my life to the fullest, with the help of others, but also with that positive mindset and fortitude to keep going regardless of the situation.
Tell me this. Talk to us about your background. So where, your upbringing and where you come from originally.
Well, I was born in a little small town outside of like not too far from Sherman. But I grew up in a single parent home. My mom, she actually raised me, my older brother, Artez, who was 8 years older than me, as well as my grandmother, who actually ended up having a stroke and was paralyzed the left side. So I ended up watching my mom work three, I know, three part-time jobs and a full-time just to make sure we have food on our table, clothes on our back, and a shelter over our head. Because again, my pops wasn't around as much. I spent, as much time as I could with him during the summers. But again, everything was on my mom. So that was my motivation for, playing sports. As well, is to be able to one day make it to the league and be able to take care of my mom and my family so they wouldn't have to worry about the financial things that we did as a child. So yeah, I mean, growing up as a single parent, just watching her do what she needed to do has motivated me, to be the man I am today.
Beautiful. Who did you take after your mother?
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. I mean, with her and my brother, one of the things about the Trenell effect, I learned the T, the R, and the E from my mom. I always seen her take action. I mean, there was time that we had more month at the end of the money that we had times lights got cut off temporarily, but she worked hard to make sure they were back on. I mean, there were times that she would go without eating to make sure we had food to eat. I mean, one time I remember chicken was cheap. Man, she learned. I know she fixed chicken at all type of way, baked chicken, fried chicken, chicken fried chicken, chicken sandwich, chicken and dumplings. Man, we ate so much chicken. I felt like I had feathers going out my butt, but she made it happen. So I seen her take action again, being resilient. I mean, no matter what came her way, she never gave up. She continued to make things happen, even having to work so many jobs. She made things happen, and she always encouraged my brother and I to do our best, no matter what. Whether if we were a trash man or a policeman, we needed to do our best. And I learned the N, the E, and the L from my older brother Artez. He always taught me to never quit. And I remember we played this game called Up the Middle when I was like 5 years, 6 years old, and he was 14. And basically, we would grab like a shoe or a sock or something, and he would set them like 5 or 6 feet apart from each other, and those represented the out of bounds markers on the football field, and he would get in the middle of them. I'm telling you, my brother's a big guy. I mean, even at 14, he was a big kid, and I'm this little small guy, and I was the running back. And he used to give me like the little football or the sock, whatever we made, and I would like line up like 5 or 6 feet away from him. And so the whole object of the game is I had to get past him without going outside those cones. And if I did, I had to start over. So Pete, this was a game that I didn't like at the time because he would give me the ball and he would tell me down, said hut. And so I would try to use my speed to run outside to get into the touchdown because I could not stop playing the game until I scored. And so the first time I tried to use my speed to get around him. And we were playing this game inside the house in our room. So as I was running on the outside, he pushed me so hard, I flew into the wall and stuck there like a portrait. I ended up getting up. He was like, "You mad?" He was like, "Do it again." So this time, I'm thinking, I'm going to run him over. I'm going to knock him down and just go into the end zone. Well, little did I know is that as I was running toward him as fast as I can, he grabbed me and pushed me so hard. I ended up doing backwards flips I didn't even know I could do. So I got up with my body aching, with tears rolling down my face. I got smart. This time I ran toward him as fast as I could. He lunged at me. I jumped at the last minute, diving over his head. He hit my feet, causing me to flip in the air. I landed on my back, ball in hand, on the other side of him. Touchdown. The game taught me to never quit, no matter how hard it gets. And that game also taught me how to evaluate different ways of getting through obstacles in life, because things are not going to always go as planned. They may not work the first time you try things. They might not work the second thing way you try things. But if you keep trying things and evaluating them, you will eventually get past them. And this taught me the L, learn. I have to learn from that. I have to learn from my different evaluations, from what works and what don't work. And when I learn from that, that will help me grow. And yeah, help me grow. And I learned the last L, the love from both of them. They love me unconditionally before my injury and even after my injury. And so,
On that, I mean, do you find yourself driven by pain or pleasure here? You know, because well, I'll let you answer the question.
um, I don't like pain. I, I don't think anybody like pain, but I don't. But sometimes you have to experience pain in order to gain
Mm.
short-term pain for long-term gain. So that's what I've learned about with pain. Some pain is good as long as it's short term. Pleasure, of course, I'm driven by pleasure. Who's not? But again, it's a little bit of both. You got to experience pain for short term, and then you can gain from it, and then you can experience that pleasure at the end.
So, what brings out the best in you, Trenell?
A challenge.
Mm.
I like a challenge, especially if somebody tell me I can't do something. And I have a great example of that. When I was in college, my brother was my full-time assistant, and he was only getting paid 30 hours, but was providing 24-hour care. And so the case manager that was helping me at that time from a government agency, I asked her to be able to get extra hours. What would it? And she was told me, she said, Trenell, if in order for us to give him extra hours, you would have to go into nursing home. And if that's the case, I don't think you're gonna be in college. I'm telling you, she better be going to punch her in her throat. I'm not advocating violence, but that's just the thought I had at the time. But she came back the next week, and no, she came back the next visit, and she was like, "So how college is doing?" I said 3.5 GPA. She's like, "Oh, I knew you can do it." I had to give her the stank out, like, "Yeah, right." And I've learned, don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do anything, especially if they haven't already done it. So that challenged me to go forward. Even being paralyzed, it's a challenge every time I go somewhere, because everything is not accessible. I mean, even people's attitude toward those with disabilities are not acceptable. But I've learned to look at that as a challenge, and what don't kill me makes me stronger.
It's interesting. So when you look at the challenge, I mean, do you have a language and a script to get over yourself, or are you default positive and solution focused, or do you have to sort of run it through process first?
Oh yeah, man, I have to go through a process every morning. The worst part about being paralyzed is waking up, not being able to do anything for yourself.
Okay.
So I have to. I mean, there are several things I say to myself. For instance, this morning I had to say to myself, I create joy in my life. I create joy in my life. I determine my legacy, or I, go back to my spiritual upbringing. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Or if it's to be, it's up to me. And so I have to continue to remind myself with those positive affirmations. Because other than that, I'll be angry every day like I was when my injury first occurred.
How long did it take that anger for you to reuse that energy and repurpose it?
It's an everyday thing even now.
Really?
But initially, it took 3 years because I was a cycle of depression and anger. And then one day, I ain't gonna say one day, I remember 6 years after the fact of my injury occurring, because I used to have PTSD. I used to replay it every day in my head, for 6 years. Even though I went through the whole depression and anger, you know, cycle for 3 years, the whole um, replaying of the injury whenever it got close to October 20th. The week of October 20th, I would start reliving it. And 6 years after the fact, one day my brother was like, "Hey, do you know what day it is?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Man, it's your 6 year anniversary." And I was like, "What?" And so for me, it took like 6 years to be able to say, "Okay, I think I'm comfortable with what's going on." But as far as dealing with the anger, it comes up every now and again. Because let me just imagine this, Pete. You sitting at home, you needing a drink of water, but you don't have anyone around, or they may not be able to hear you. But more so, you may think, who should I ask? Because I don't want to feel like I'm being a burden on them, or I don't want to stop them from doing those things. And that can cause anger because you got this internal battle thinking that, man, when I was able-bodied, when I wasn't paralyzed, I was able to get up and do it on my own. Now I gotta wait for somebody to do it. And that tends to make me angry. But then again, I have to realize, I'm like, okay, just be patient. People are here to help you. It's not all about being independent. It's about being interdependent. And I'm grateful I have a loving family and friends. And I got a personal assistant, Michael, that's, helps me out.
What are you grateful for?
Life.
Hmm.
Grateful that I'm able to breathe the breath that I have right now to talk, because I was on a ventilator for a month, not able to breathe on my own. And with my injury, as high as it is, it's a C4 injury, which is the cervical, the fourth vertebrae in the neck, which controls the breathing area. They have a thing in the medical field that says C4, C5 keeps you alive, because that's the area of the spinal cord that controls the diaphragm. The diaphragm is what helps me breathe. And so right now, all my muscles in my chest and stomach and stuff are paralyzed except for the diaphragm. So being able to breathe on my own is grateful. I'm grateful for that, because I had to learn how to breathe on my own. And that was the hardest thing besides learning how to eat food again. And that's another thing I'm grateful for, that I'm able to eat food again, eat solid foods again, where in the past I wasn't, because I had to go back to eating parade food. They had to blend it up for me. Now I'm able to eat food, which I love to do. So it's just life, in general, because I learned that life can change in a blink of an eye.
What's your favorite meal?
Food. Yeah, I love food. As long as it ain't sushi.
Chicken?
Oh, right. Yeah, chicken. Oh, I like, man, tacos. I like lasagna, man. I usually don't discriminate. I appreciate it unless it's sushi. I've tried it 3 times and still don't like it.
Is it fish in general or just sushi?
Oh, just sushi. I've tried it. I've tried it like 3 times. I've tried it like raw sushi. I've tried California rolls. The only thing I haven't tried yet is fried sushi. So I'm still open to try that.
I was going to say fried sushi's on the line of just being fish, right? It's like
I don't know. I just keep hearing people like, you need to try fried sushi.
I've never had it, so I couldn't tell you.
Mhm.
That's amazing. So what's your superpower then, Trenell?
Um, Superpower. Never thought about that one. I would say my ability to inspire people to never quit. Yeah, I think that's it. The never quit power.
Do you inspire yourself?
I do. When I look back at pictures of me being in
Mm.
the hospital with tubes in my mouth and in my throat and thing, I mean, and in my arms, and I see where I am now, and I reflect on all the accomplishments, I feel inspired. It's like, wow.
Because I was going to say that's you probably don't have that many comparisons. Does that make sense? Other people to it's there's not many people will have the same injuries or the same opportunities as yourself.
Mhm. But no, I actually have a lot of other people that inspire me, a lot of mentors from, Tom Ziegler. I mean, my mom is my big inspiration. My brother is, another big inspiration. He the one taught me to go hard or go home. And that simply means do your best or do nothing at all. I mean, and I have other, people that I've met with various, disabilities and that has overcome a lot of other things that, inspire me. You know, I like people that have overcome challenges. They inspire me. I'm like, wow. It doesn't even have to be with a spinal cord injury. I mean, it could be someone, it may be dealing with depression or overcome a divorce or, you know, have been wanting to start a business and they didn't think they can do it and they've done it. Just someone who has overcome an obstacle that they didn't think they could overcome. That's what inspires me.
It's interesting you say that. I'm wondering, is there, and you've probably seen both. I mean, which is, I don't know if it's a scale of hardness, but it's like, is the physical disability harder or the mental, not disability, but the mental struggles as such?
Oh, the mental and the emotional is
Mm.
the hardest thing to overcome.
Yeah. It would make sense, I suppose, a lot of processing, a lot of, going through that.
Hmm.
So going back to school, what was your strengths? What did you love to study?
Oh, in school,
Hmm.
well, prior to my injury, my the 3 things I enjoyed was sports, food, and girls. Those were my 3 favorite things before my injury. After my injury, it was still women. It was still um, sports, but honestly, education really took hold of it. I really enjoy psychology. I really enjoy sociology. I like the way people minds work because we've learned so. I mean, the mind is so powerful. It's so amazing. It can do so much. It's really can be used for unlimited things. So really learning about the psychology and the psychology of just learning about the psychology just helped me understand, the mindset is needed for sports, because sports is a lot about the mental. That's one of the things I learned. And it also helped me understand my relationships, along with the emotional aspects of relationships. I mean, so again, I like psychology, sociology, learning more about the emotional, learning about the inner man and inner woman, because I've been taught that we've been taught to protect the outer man while the inner man is dying. So anything that's learning about that inner person, because the body is going to, deteriorate, but who we are on the inside will continue to flourish. So
That's really powerful. So yeah, I mean, you sort of through education, learning experiences, etc., you can really sort of practice the inner muscles, the inner mind.
I mean, just think about it. I'm paralyzed from the neck down. So it ain't like I can go out and work out to distract myself. It ain't like I can go for a walk to, I can go for a roll in my wheelchair and see all the beautiful things in the environment, which is great. But most of the time, I'm inside my head, really learning to understand myself on the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual aspect.
How do you decompress then? As you say, I mean, is that been? I don't know if I'd want to get stuck with me for too long. It's like,
I'll tell you, the mind is a dangerous place to be alone. Honestly, I enjoy journaling.
okay.
I mean, I enjoy writing poetry. Honestly, the thing I really like doing is just going and sitting outside
Hmm.
and enjoying everything around me. I mean, nature is a beautiful thing. Or, I may go hang out with some friends. I'm trying to get into vlogging, you know, to be able to, because I've been taught, I've recognized that it's good to get what's on the inside out. That's really how we can all decompress, is really get what's on the inside out. And so, I mean, I do that. Those are the what I typically do the most. Since this whole COVID is going on, I usually like to go bowling or go hang out with friends, go to a movie, or go to uh, different places to get out the house. But again, really just writing, poetry, and chilling outside, enjoying the beauty of nature.
What's a guilty pleasure for you then?
Hmm. The guilty pleasure, man, eating ice cream.
What sort?
Yeah. The think it's the chocolate chip cookie dough overload with chocolate syrup on top.
You're good to yourself.
Yes, yeah. All work and no play ain't fun. Gotta have a pleasure with some ice cream, especially in Texas. It's hot right now. The temperature's supposed to be like 100 degrees a day with a heat index of 103, 104. So ice cream is real good right about now.
That sounds good. So this like 26 years you've really been in your current situation. Has technology moved on, and have you adapted, and because it's a long time.
Man, technology has evolved tremendously, which is a great,
Hmm.
because when I first got injured, I was using speech recognition software. It was called Dragon Dictate at the time, and I had to speak one word at a time. For instance, my name is Trenell. Now with Dragon Naturally Speaking and with the Mac speech recognition software, I can talk to it like I'm talking to you, and it picks it up very well, real accurate. I mean, as well as, I mean, like my wheelchair that I use right now, I initially had a tongue touch keypad where a retainer would fit in my mouth. And I had 9 keypads at the top that I had to memorize which one to push to make my chair go back, forward, left, right. And then the chair I have now, I have a head array with sensors on the right and the left side. So if I move my head to the right, it'll turn my chair to the right. If I move tap the left side, it'll go left. And if I push my head up against the back, it will go forward. And if I lean my head forward, like forward, um, it'll click over and I can go backwards. And I'm also able to stand up in this wheelchair.
Wow.
So yeah, and I'm able to control the TV. I change the channel with the chair. So I mean that's great. And with Alexa and Siri, I mean those make things a lot easier from the telephone to controlling things around the house, which gives a sense of independence, you know, for someone in my position.
Mm.
Because I get tired of asking somebody to always do something. So I mean, technology and with the wheelchair accessible van, you know, I'm able to, you know, get in it and roll out where before when my injury first happened, I actually had to get packed from my apartment into a little bitty geo prison in order to travel. So technology has really uh, gave freedom, and I'm able to work from home. You know, doing Zoom calls like this,
Hmm.
different things like that. So technology, I can imagine being in this situation, even in the 80s. I mean, so
That's a
technology just gave me some freedom.
it's a big change. I mean, it's for disability in general, it's such a bonus, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, man, this is. I was on a call Zoom call the other day with a group of individuals with spinal cord injuries, and they were sharing that right now this will be is ideal for someone like us because now people are looking for someone that can work from home, be able to make calls and do different things like that. And I'm like, now the opportunities have opened because we don't necessarily have to travel, you
Mm.
know, jeopardize, you know, getting sick or anything like that. So
Would you be susceptible to sickness? I mean, is there a variety there?
yeah, it's like this whole Corona thing,
Mm.
because as well as the flu, things like that, because my breathing is compromised.
Okay.
Because if I got something like that, it may would take me out because I don't have, you know, the full lung capacity and the things like that to be able to fight the situation and again the immune system, things like that. So it would be hard to fight.
How do you feel about that?
It is what it is now. I've learned to be able to adapt to it. Wintertime, I just don't go around sick people, and I'm grateful with.
If you're
And I'm
sick, get out
grateful.
of my
Maybe
house.
right. They already know if 3 things I don't like to be. I don't like to be around sick people. I don't like to be cold, and I don't like to be wet. So if you sick, you gotta go. So
uh, so what, in terms of getting out and day to day, I mean, really with your helper, you can, you can go about the place, right?
oh yeah, definitely, man. I was actually in went out of town yesterday. You know, I like to go bowling.
Mm.
I like to go to the comedy clubs. I enjoy going to, you know, sports events from high school to college to professional. I mean, I grateful that my life is not much different than it would be if I was able-bodied. I just have to rely on people to get me places more than if I wasn't paralyzed.
Mm. Overall, do you think you are where you're supposed to be?
Yeah, the thing I'm looking at is where I'm going to be. I
Care to
mean,
share?
My vision for myself is, with my company, Trying Beyond Limits, is to build an empire, that to be able to not only provide people with tools, but be able to teach those people how to use those tools to help other people,
Mm.
as well as having a clothing line, as well as having a speaking institution, um, as well. Yeah. So I'm looking at a bigger vision on, where my life is going to go and how many people that I'm going to be able to help, because I'm all about adding value and helping people.
What do you think people need the most? What's gonna add the most value?
Um, Hope, encouragement, and empowerment. And one of the things that I like to do is to inspire, educate, and empower. Because when you inspire people, you give them hope. When you educate people, you give them encouragement. And when you educate people as well, it gives them empowerment. It gives them the power to do things they didn't realize they could do. For instance, once I felt hope, I felt optimistic. I no longer or that I was a failure. I felt that there was something I can do. And my
Mm.
mom always stressed education because she told me as long as I have my mind, I can do anything. And she told me education is important because she dropped out of high school at 15 to raise my brother, who she had. And I asked her, Mom, why you always stress education? She said, because I didn't want you to struggle like I did, because I knew without it, you would struggle. And I knew with it, you can make something of yourself.
Mm.
So again, being able to educate and being educating myself, it has empowered me. And I'm not only talking about formal education, I'm talking about self-education, going to like different seminars, going to the library, reading a book. I mean, people that have become successful have written books from not only Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, and some other people have written manuals out there to help people be educated and be empowered and be successful. As of just like myself, I'm writing a book right now to help educate people, to help empower them to keep going. So that is the things that I think people need.
What's it gonna be called? You know?
Um, it's I'm got two titles. I got one, um, maybe the Trenell effect, and the other one I'm bouncing around the power of perseverance and performance. But we still working it out. I'm still in the whole creative process. I already got like several chapters written. Looking forward to coming out in November. So,
Brilliant. So in terms of COVID, I mean, it sounds like it's brought some opportunities. Obviously, there's the obvious restrictions as such, but sounds like it's actually worked for you in some ways.
oh yeah, definitely, man. COVID has been one of those, you know, blessings in disguise, if you want to say it like that for me,
Sure.
because all the trainings that I were going out doing in person, now they have gotten a platform online, so I can do them via Zoom.
Mm.
Therefore, I don't have to take the risk of going out there and catching COVID. Now I can do it from the comfort of my own home. And that was one of my dreams growing up, is to be able to do a business where I can work from anywhere. And so with this COVID, now it has given me an opportunity to do that. And I have a captive audience because everybody now is at home.
So it's a bit like, I suppose, when they talked about the internet being like it sort of leveled the playing field. It did
Mhm.
and it didn't. But now, obviously, when you put restrictions on people, and you have the internet, it really has kind of flattened out the playing field a lot more, even still, right?
Yeah, it's created opportunities.
Mm.
Well, I say it created opportunities for people that want to see the opportunity rather than the problem.
Mm.
So,
From your perspective, I mean, do you see people who are of able-bodied but have a lot more excuses? I mean,
that's a pet peeve.
it's like,
That is a
can you get
pet
a big
peeve.
slapper on that wheelchair? You know, it's like,
Yes.
instruct the wheelchair, please hit that person hard. Yeah.
Right. That is one of my pet peeves is that when I see an able-bodied
Mm.
person not doing something, or they find a reason to not do something, I'm like, dude, if I would love to be in your position where you're able-bodied and
Mm.
being able to have the opportunity to do things as freely as you can physically. I'm like, but I'm paralyzed from the neck down, but I've still been able to do things regardless. So whenever I see a able-bodied person make an excuse for something, it makes me angry, very angry. Because I'm like, man, your life can change in a blink of an eye. And you can be like where I am now. You don't want to be here. This is like one of the worst positions you can ever be in is being reliant on someone physically, not knowing. Because a person, if I make them mad, they can easily say, I don't want to do it. And there I'm stuck like Chuck. I can't do anything. But an able
Mm.
but an able-bodied person, I'm like, man, you got the freedom to go out there and make something happen. Go out there and do it and stop making excuses. I'm like, look at me. I get rid of all the excuses. And that's why I like going into different companies to speak. I like going into high schools. I like to go into colleges. I like to go, and share my story because it gets rid of all excuses. I'm like, especially after I share with them, my achievements, the things I plan on doing. Like, there's no excuses. Look at me, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. If I can do it, you can do it.
Who do you find? Well, what's your favorite group to speak to? Put it like that.
Um, I honestly like to speak to high school and college students, especially those between 16 and 25, because there's a whole lot of transition going on there. As I mean, and again, those 16-year-olds, those teenagers think they know it all. I mean, their parents will tell them one thing, try to guide them in the right direction, but it takes somebody else to come tell them the same thing, and they be like, "Oh, for real? That's how it works." So I enjoy talking to those groups
Mm.
the most. But I've learned to talk to businesses because I know they're going through the same thing. They have marketing teams out there making every excuse in the world why they can't make a sale, or they may feel discouraged. Like, man, I was in a network marketing business, so I understand, going out there and hearing no, or not feeling too motivated to want to do it because of what you may think other people may think of you. And that no doesn't necessarily mean no. It means not right now. Fortune isn't a follow up or different things like that. And being able to, again, using my story of perseverance, you can do this.
I love that. I mean, it's such a beautiful way to repurpose that energy, and to bring good, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure, as you were saying, the first 60 years, you're on the knife edge of, you know, this can completely swallow you up, or, you can choose to stand on the shoulder of it like a giant.
Yeah, and that's what I've learned to do is stand on the shoulder of giants. One thing that Zig Ziglar said that I thought was pretty funny. He said, if you find a turtle on a fence post, it didn't get there by itself. I didn't get where I am by myself.
Yeah.
And people are not going to get where they need to go by themselves. That's why I enjoy being a life enhancing coach, because I can meet people where they are and help them to get to where they want to be.
Because the key values that you would see in a coach and your unique selling point, what are they?
Repeat that because you cut out.
So it's saying from your core values and your sort of USP in terms of applying your coach and why you stand out. What would that be?
The reason why I send out is because I've been where that person is, and I've used the 7 steps that I've shared with you, the Trenell effect, to
Mm.
get me to where I needed to be. And I can help others using that same process to get to where they need to be. Whether you are a child struggling with depression or not really where knowing where you want to go, or you a business leader that may have employees or team members that are stuck. I can help you get unstuck with the Trenell effect and help you influence lives and empower generations to thrive.
It's beautiful. And is it this desire and hunger? I mean, does that run in your family? Has your brother taken that on at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's funny because I look at my grandma, and I was talking to my mom about this the other day, because I like recognize that we all are leaders. But I watched my grandmother. She was paralyzed from on the left side from a stroke. She spent most of her time at home, but she had a telephone, and she would always get things done sitting there at home on a telephone. My mom used to get frustrated with her because there was times that she would call people and be like, "Hey, can you bring me this?" And my mom was like, "Hey, quit calling, bothering people. Stop it." And she was like, "Hey, if you ain't gonna do it, I can find somebody else to do it."
Mhm.
So yeah, so just watching her be that leader, watching my mom go out there and be that leader, my brother,
Mm.
watching him and him teaching me again to go hard or go home. I mean, the three words that describe my family is faith, family, and perseverance.
I like that. Talk to us about your faith.
Oh man, my faith is, man, I believe in, Jesus Christ. And I gotta be honest with you. Man, I grew up in church, and God had his place and I had my place. I was like anybody else. Whenever I got in trouble and I needed to call on him, Lord help me, get me out this trouble.
Mhm.
But when I was doing my own thing, I had my own place. It was when, my injury happened, because my mom always laid that foundation of faith from an early age. She was like, hey, life is gonna get hard, but if you have faith in God and, build your trust on him, he will get you through. And she not only spoke it, she showed it. And so when my injury happened, and like I said, I was angry. I'm like, God, man, why did you leave me here? Why did you leave me alone? I asked him to walk and I never got an answer. I mean, and growing up in a church, I knew there was a devil. And I'm like, man, devil, you make me walk again. I would worship you. And there was nothing. And so that's when I went into the depression. But my mom always told me to pray. So when I did pray, And I heard that tender voice at the time let me know that, hey, this injury, you put football before me. I don't want anything put before me, but through this injury, I'm inspire others that if they put me first and use their mind to the fullest, they can do anything. I was like, man, I had to hear directly because other than that, I wouldn't believe. And so that was really, got my belief back strong, in my faith in God through Jesus Christ. But like anybody else, I struggle. And I'm grateful that I have that faith there to help me stay strong. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. But it is something that helps me stay grounded and help me stay strong in the midst of being paralyzed because it sucks. So
Sure, obviously it's the balance of trying to take you, 'cause the expression, your weak, your weaknesses can be your strengths if you choose them to be.
yeah, definitely. That's true. That's true. I mean, it's a choice.
Hmm. Is that the biggest thing? Do you think, is people deciding or choosing to step forward or take control?
Yes, depending on the situation, because some people have things that may be totally out of their control. They may have like a chemical imbalance or, a brain injury or something that may be totally out of their control that they may not have the capacity to make that choice. But there are others of us that may be going through things and we want to blame others. Or we want to blame ourselves when that's not going to help get get us. I know it didn't help me get to where I needed to be, so I had to choose. I had to make a decision, and once I made the decision, I had to take action. Because we can say we're going to do something all day long, but until we take action, nothing's going to happen. And Pete, do you know what the problem is with doing nothing? It doesn't end until you do something.
Well, doing nothing is a choice too, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I had to do. I had to choose. I could choose to be depressed all day long.
Mm.
And I had this dream that really put things in perspective. I actually had two dreams. What was a dream? I had a dream. And the dream was the dream was of the world just spinning around on its axis. And it made me realize that whether I'm throwing a pity party or not, life is going to continue. The world is going to keep turning.
Mm.
And that faded away. And then I seen a fish swimming upstream to spawn. And I recognized that the water flowing downstream represented the life of an able-bodied person, which has limits. An able-bodied person has to don't have to rely on someone else physically to take care of them as much as someone with a disability.
Mm.
They can feed themselves, they can get themselves dressed. And the fish represented me is that regardless of the obstacles that I'm going to have to face, it may take me longer, but if I keep going, I'm going to reach my goal. And that made me realize that, hey, all of this is a choice. I got tired of throwing the pity parties. Now it's time for me to put in the work, which required me to take action, be resilient, encourage, never quit, evaluate, learn, and love in life.
I love it. It's so strong. Bucket list for you. What's out there? What do you want to do?
Well, I repeat that again, you kind of faded out.
Sorry, in terms of a bucket list, what's on your list of to dos?
Oh man, my to-do list, man. I want to go on a cruise. I thought I was gonna get ready to grow on one before this Corona stuff went on, but man, But man, I want to go on a cruise, man. I would like to go over to Europe and see how life is over in Europe, man.
It's
I would
cold.
like.
I'll tell you that it's cold.
Well, man, maybe I need to go over there when it's warm.
Yeah.
So that's, I would like to be able to go, travel. Again, man, I want to go to. I ain't never been to Disneyland or Disney World or Universal Studios, and I would just like to, just take a journey, just around, just to see, the sights and everything like that. I'm trying to think. I would say skydive, but I don't think I'm that brave yet. I would like to go that paragliding. I was watching
Mm.
the Upside, and I seen how he had this uh, setup where he with the guy that was paralyzed in there. It was a quad, and he was able to go parasailing. I think that's what it was. And he had this setup where he could sit down in this little contraption with three wheels, and he had this glide over him. And I think that would have been interesting. I might have been scared, but I'm ready to try it. So,
I love it. Give it. Why not? Give it a whirl. Get out there.
hmm so that's it's probably something else, but I can't really think of anything
Hmm.
else right now.
You mentioned there, obviously, your sort of psychology and sociology in terms of that side. I mean, is it something? Is learning? And you said our education is very important to you. Is that something you do freely and you enjoy doing, or is it something you kind of have to do?
No, it's something that I enjoy doing. One of the things that I learned, and I like to share this with athletes, and I think it can pertain to anyone, but I share with athletes that sports is the vehicle. Education is the engine that will get you there and beyond. And if you really want to get there fast, you'll put a Hemi on it by doing self-education. So I really like learning. I try to learn something new so I can be able to teach others. I want to learn something new about myself and understand myself as well as about things around me to be able to. Learning is fun. Leaders are readers,
Mm.
and I just really enjoy stimulating the mind because one of the things I've learned is that we don't like to think. People don't like to think these days. I mean, Earl Nightingale said that in this book. What was it? Strangest Secret. The problem with people nowadays is that we don't like to think. And so I like to be able to stimulate my mind. So when I talk to someone, I can share something with them to make them think.
Mm. So powerful. In terms of books, I mean, what do you read? What do you recommend?
Oh, okay. I'm actually reading this book right now called What's My Number by Laurel Mellon. And it's really teaching me how to handle my stress because it says that we have 5 different stress levels.
Okay.
And the fifth, it goes from 5 to 1. Says number 5 is very stressed. That's letting us know that's when we're starting to feel overwhelmed, and it's controlled by our, reptilian brain, as she calls it, which is at the very base of our brain. And then it said the fourth stage is, um, so you got very stressed, and then you have no, you got very, very stressed, and you have super stress. Anyway, 4 is the next level of stress. And with that, it's letting us know that, hey, we really need to get out of our emotional mind. Yeah, the fourth and the fifth levels of stress are our emotional minds, where our emotions take over us. And then it goes up to the 3. The third level is moderate. And so that one is controlled by our, I think, limbic brain. And so they provide tools for that. And then the second one is low, very just stress. Second level is stress, and so that's when your more of your thinking brain is back in control. And then the first level is just very little stress. That's when your whole that's your neural cortex is totally in control. And so what you're trying to do is when you're feeling stressed, you say, what is my number? And if you feel like your number is 4, they have tools that will help you go from 4 and cycle up to 1, which is less stress. Which helps you get in control of your emotions, which is something that we all need right now. So I'm reading that one, and she has another one called the stress overload solution that I've read. I also read Tom Ziegler's Choose to Win. This is a good one. I've read See You Over the Top with Zig Ziglar. I like Purpose Driven Life. I like what is that? Emotional Intelligence by
Hmm.
Daniel Goldsman. Um, trying to see some other ones that I've read. Man, I got a list. I
Do
got a
you do you read or do you listen, or what's your preferred method?
I do both. I've been reading, but I like to listen.
Hmm.
Audiobooks because when I'm in my car, I like to turn it into a mobile classroom. Yeah.
Makes sense. You can. I'm the same. I mean, to me, listening it's very immersive, and but some people swear by reading. It's kind of whatever sort of makes the most.
Yeah.
What tends to get you in the most creative space for if whether it's you're getting ready to talk to people or even just as you talking about for your book, can you get into that space very easily, or do you have to go out and I don't know, get yourself all G'd up, or what do you do?
No, man, I usually just depends. I may put on me some music. I may put on me some, rap music. I may put on me some R&B just to get my mind. No, I usually put rap music on for my creativity. Times that I just start writing or just start, focusing on what it is I need to. But when I need that energy and stuff, I gotta hit me on some music that's gonna get me excited, that's gonna get me pumped up. Like when I go speaking, I pray about before I go speak, but I usually either put in some good music that's gonna get me excited, that I need to come and bring it, or I may put in some gospel, some spiritual music that calms me down and be like, okay, it's time to go out here and perform. It's time to, just let it go.
Mm,
So it all depends on my mood.
yeah. And in terms of you talk about your mood, would you be are you conscious of your own mood? Can you catch yourself? Can you see where your level's at?
Hmm. Yes, I can. And that's one of the things that I really like about this book, What's My Number? Because whenever I'm feeling like I'm stressed, I'll be like, man, what's my number?
Mm,
And if it's a 2, then I know I'm feeling pretty good. And but I also know there's something that I need. And I may ask myself, hey, how am I feeling?
mm,
I'm like, man, I'm feeling like I need to get something done. Then my next question is, what do I need? Oh, I need to get in here and start working on this speech, this presentation, or I need to go here and work on this book. And then the last question I ask, man, do I need support? If I do, I mean, like, man, I need to call up, the writer, or I may need to, do something. So yeah, I usually like to stay with my mood because I like to be in control of myself.
mm.
Because I've learned that he who angers you controls you.
Very
And so
true.
I like to be in. So I like to be in control of me. So yeah, so I try to take deep breaths. You know, I sit outside and I do what is called a 30-second check-in. And I learned this from that Laurel Melon book. So basically, I sit outside or I sit in my room, take a deep breath, just to focus on that breathing. And then the next 10 seconds, I take another, I breathe in again, but this time I just focus on my body, how it's feeling. And then the last 30 seconds, I just take a deep breath in and I show myself compassion. And I, look at myself and be like, man, you're awesome. You're great. You're amazing. Because that let me know, okay, Trenell, you feeling real good right now. I'm showing myself compassion. I'm expressing those positive emotions, about myself and different things like that. So that helps me stay, grounded and checked in, with my emotions, with my mood and things like that. Yeah, I hate not being in control of myself.
You mentioned at the start, looking in the mirror and really sort of being grateful for certain things. So I think it's probably
Mhm.
only right for me to ask you, what's your best feature?
Oh man, my smile. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Cause my smile makes me smile.
Hmm.
And I'd encourage you and anyone else to do this little exercise. Next time you're in the mirror, look in it and just frown. Frown as hard as you can, like you're mad. And watch how you end up feeling. For me, I end up feeling mad for no reason.
Hmm.
And then I wait a moment and then I start smiling. Then I start feeling happy and laughing for no reason. And so look, you're already smiling and laughing.
Absolutely, yeah. It's addictive.
Yeah, so that's why, my smile, because I enjoy smiling and I enjoy laughing. My nickname when I was younger was Smiley.
Awesome. What a beautiful name.
Yeah, thank you.
How do you find other people interact and do they struggle to sort of know how to interact with you? Does that make sense?
Initially, they do. Um, I'll be out in public, and if someone sees me that has never met me, they will say, "Oh, I am so sorry you know, for you being in this chill wheelchair or from what happened." And I'm like, "Sorry for what?" And it's funny that when I should, or when I respond, "Tell me how are you doing?" I'm like blessed and doing my best. Their whole attitude changed, like, "Oh, you sure are." Or when they walk up to me, this is funny to me. They go to try to shake my hand. And I'm like, "You gonna be waiting a long time if you waiting for me to shake your hand." So initially it is a little awkward. Some people don't know how, but after I respond to them with a positive attitude and things, it makes them feel more comfortable.
Hmm.
But I will say this. One time I was in Cheddar's, eating lunch with my mom for her birthday. And there was a table behind me where some people were sitting. And they actually got up and left. Well, the hostess brought another family to sit there, and I heard a lady say, "Oh, we can't sit there. He may run over us." Exactly. That look on your face, that's how it was. I'm like, what? So some people are still ignorant of the fact of how to deal with certain people with different, not only disabilities, but that's different than them. So I have to do some education sometimes because I recognize there's a lot of ignorance out there concerning disabilities.
Amongst you mentioned you interact with other groups and people who are less able-bodied. Do you guys have like a scale as to you're it's like no, I'm top of the list or bottom of this list or whatever. Tell them to pipe down. It's like, yeah, no, you're nothing, man, compared to me.
Oh no, we don't do that, but we do think it's pretty interesting that even though a lot of us have spinal cord injuries, we all have different functions.
Okay.
Same thing, but different functions. But no, that's pretty funny. No, we don't be like, hey, no, I'm C4. No, you can't talk because shoot, you got more movement than I do. That ain't fair.
I was gonna say,
No.
it's always that, but it's refreshing, isn't it? And there's actually a book, the Donald Walsh Conversations with God, and I found the book amazing, and that and a bit like you were saying, when people react to your disability as such, and saying I'm sorry, and it's like, well, what for? It's like, you're actually more able, mentally you're more switched on, you're more capable than typical able-bodied people out there. It's like, who's actually, you want to talk about disability, you kind of got to look at your own back door first.
So true. I learned that a lot of people has a disability of their mind. They're closed off. They're in a mental prison.
Mm,
Like sometimes you need to escape the mental prison. Because if not, it is gonna kill you.
mm.
Get exposed to something new, to something different. And people ask me, um, what should I call you? I'm like, Trenell. I'm like, if you have questions, and it also depends on the person and where they are with their situation. But I'm like, with me, just ask questions. Because the only dumb question is the question you don't ask. Because now it gives me an opportunity to educate you, to help open your mind and free you out that prison that you didn't realize that you were in.
Mm.
And I look at some people and I'm like, man, my life ain't that bad.
Yeah, exactly. And people can't see that sometimes. You're like, really? Okay. It's like, how do you ever get sick of, I suppose, because, and even here, we have spoken a lot about, your disability as such, but it's like, well, but that's also not you. You are, you're your own person. It's like this constant rucksack or this constant bag you have to carry on your back, but sometimes you just go, listen, can we just forget about that part and just focus on me? Because you're awesome, obviously.
Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, one of the things that I've learned as far as myself, there are times that I need to get out of focusing on that I'm paralyzed
Mm,
and different things like that, especially when it comes to dating. I'm looking at, my disability and the limitations that I have because growing up with the concept of what it means to be a man. A man is supposed to be able to take care of things. A man is supposed to be able to fix things. And, the whole perception of what a man is supposed to do is
mm,
physical. And so I thought I lost my value as a man when it came to when I lost my physical abilities. And it had affected me in my self-esteem, my self-confidence. And I had to get a reality check, and I continue to have to get reality checked by, not only my lady friends, but even the fellas. Like, man, once we meet you, we no longer see the chair, we see you.
mm.
I mean, so, but yeah, so a lot of that, um, being focused on my disability, it really affects me in my dating life. Well,
Uh-huh.
not as much as it used to. But yeah, now I mean, most people when they meet me, they actually don't see the chair. They say
Mm.
once we start talking to you, we only see you.
Makes sense. So what's your party trick then?
What's my party trick?
Yeah.
Which part are you talking about? But man, I'm telling you, it's pretty cool when I meet someone. Especially it never fails that the ladies always want to take a ride in my wheelchair. So I'm like, hey, you want to go on an amusement ride? Let's have it. So yeah, I just enjoy, giving them my opportunity to sit in my lap, taking them for a ride, and just cracking jokes and with the fellas, man, it's always great to be with them. So so my
That's
party,
awesome.
my party line is hey, they start talking to me, they want to go for a ride. Hey, you need a Uber? Let me be your Uber.
I love it. You get away with it too. It's like, why not?
Right. I mean, because again, it's a new experience.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you enjoy new experiences then?
I do, even
Hmm.
though it's scary. And that's one of the things I wrestle with is fear, because it's fear of the uncertainty. Because again, you have control over if something happens, mostly because of the physical.
Hmm.
Me, if someone don't want to do anything, it's I'm a fear of abandonment, fear of neglect. I mean, and even when I'm out doing something, um, even just a lot of the fear of the uncertainty. Um, again, but that is just false evidence appearing real.
Hmm.
So I've tried to turn that fear into a different acronym, and that is to face everything and rise.
I like that.
So now I just try to face everything and rise. Despite fear, feel the fear and do it anyway. So
You mentioned some great names there a while back. Obviously you've got your Les Brown, your Zig Ziglars. I mean, who's your go-to in that world?
um man, it's kind of funny because I have Tom Ziegler as my mentor. So I like going to this Zig Ziglar, but I really like going to different people from Les Brown to Tony Robbins to Eric Thomas. Um, Depending on what I need, I really like Jim Rohn. I mean, so like you said, formal education get you a job, self-education get you rich. I may need to go to Zig, Zig Ziglar. One of the things I like about him is you are where you are because what is going into your mind. You can change what you are, you can change where you are by changing what goes into your mind.
Hmm.
So it all depends on where I'm at, what I'm needing. If I'm needing pumped up, hey, let me go to Eric Thomas because he's gonna get me pumped up, ready to roll, feel like I can roll through a wall. Same thing with Tony Robbins. And I may go to Kyle Wilson, depending on or Dennis Wheatley. So or I may have to go old school, go Augment Dingo, or need to go to some Earl Nightingale, you know.
It's so powerful, and I suppose once you get into the world of personal development and learning and earning and educating yourself, it's amazing, like, really, isn't it? Your mind just opens up and you see all sorts of possibilities, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Especially when, for me, my world is so different. We all grow up when we're born. We are born around our parents can teach us how to live as an able-bodied person. I mean, when you're a kid, you got people that are helping you to walk and showing you around. But when you have a disability or you have a tragic experience in your
Hmm.
life that no one has ever experienced, you're kind of out there on your own unless you can find a support system. But even when you find the support system, you still have to put in the work yourself because the mind, even though you have a support system, and I had a loving family, until you take charge of the mind will take charge of you. And so I had to learn to start, taking charge of my mind. And I learned that when I was in a network marketing group. And the requirement of part of that system was personal development. I had never heard of personal development before. And I had my friend Nix. He used to, I used to get on my nerves every time I got in a car with him. He put in personal development. We going to these network marketing events. He putting in Les Brown. I'm like, man, I'm tired of listening to this. You know, he and he put in Zig Ziglar. And the interesting thing about Zig is that I was listening to it one day. And for some reason, I'm like, man, I'm going to be his protege. And this was in 2004. And in 2009, I had met a friend that I went to high school with. And he was asking me, what was I still speaking and sharing my story? But I was like, yeah. I was like, man, I'm going to be Zig Ziglar. Man, I'm planning on being Zig Ziglar's protege one day. And he looked at me. He said, man, I know Zig Ziglar. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, man, they have a Monday morning devotion every Monday. And he said they're always looking for speakers. He said, man, if I was able to, if you had an opportunity to come to there and speak, would you do it? I was like, heck
Yeah.
yeah. So he got back with me in 2 weeks, and I went down there to Plano, Texas, to the corporate office, and I'll never forget. I rolled through the doors, and down the hallway down the hallway. It was packed, and I rolled to the right in the room where they was having a devotion. It was packed, and this was after Mr. Ziegler had his fall. And he was on his right of me, and behind him was his son Tom Ziegler. So I went and shared my story. And on my way out, Mr. Ziegler tapped me and looked at me. He said, Trenell, he said, you're going to inspire more people than I have. He said, write a book. And I didn't get to be his protege. But after that time, Tom Ziegler took me under his wings and really been helping me grow, as a person as well as a professional, but more so as a brother and a friend. And so that's is how, and then next thing you know, in 2015, I end up being a Ziegler Legacy Certified Trainer, where
Wow.
I'm able to go out there and teach goal setting, out there to teach building winning relationships, as well as building the best you, to, trainings to, different companies, different individuals. And so, little did I know that listening to personal development with my friend that I didn't like hearing every day, every time we was in there, it actually made a difference in my personal life, as well as getting my mindset on more of the positive things, more of the things to be grateful for, and realizing that the people that are big right now, learning Zig's story, he wasn't always there.
Mm.
He struggled. I mean, Tom would share with me something that I never forget. He said that you and my dad's life were similar. He was like, you grew up without your dad being around. He was like, my dad died when he was 5. He said, y'all both had to struggle growing up. He said, my dad didn't accept Christ till he was like 45. He said he had failures going up and down. He said, and he said, out there speaking and out there selling. He said, no, he said, you know what made his life take off? I was like, no, what? He said he wrote the book, See You at the Top. He said, only thing you need to do now is to write a book. He said, and I was like, wow. He said, because y'all's life is parallel as of right now. It's time for you to write a book. So again, but I didn't realize the value of personal development way back then, to where it has helped me be to where I am now, and the people that it has helped me connect with to be able to grow personally as well as professionally.
It's beautiful. It's and the Zig Ziglar sort of teaching method, is that something you really, is that something you embellish and you take on and bring it into your work?
Yes, I do. His teachings, along with John Maxwell, along with a lot of the other ones, but yeah, definitely Zig Ziglar being a certified trainer.
Hmm. So what's next for you then? I mean, you've got your book. Your book's under presence, and with the book, what do you, what's your goal with the book?
Man, honestly, the goal for the book is going to be a toolbox.
Okay.
It's going to be it's not only, it's going to be a toolbox for, you know, people that are struggling. Again, my target market is um, not only teens, but academic institutions, sports organization, and businesses.
Hmm.
And this is a toolbox for someone that may be struggling with taking action. They can go in there and they can provide tools for taking action. They may be feeling like they about to quit. They go into the end and be like, okay, here's some tools that
Hmm.
would help me to never quit. And I'm also going to create a curriculum behind it, to be able to teach other people. So if someone wanted to get this curriculum, they can be able to teach it as well. So I'm gonna create a course on it, because I mean, again, this is the toolbox. This is the power to persevere. This is what I've been able to do. Now I'm providing you with the tools to be able to do the same, no matter who you are, where you may be a team or you may be a professional, you may be a coach or you may be the owner. I mean, this is for you.
If I've done the math right, you're 39, right? 39, 40?
Yeah, I'll be 40 this year.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome to the club. I'm just turned 40 myself.
Oh, well, great deal.
Does it inspire you that, there's so many people that, by the time they get to 40, they haven't even started, and you have your why, you speak so well, you're clear. I mean, you've got the Trenell, you've got the acronym, you've got that model, you know, do you, I was going to say, do you appreciate how far on you are, and does that feel good to you?
I do. I honestly have to stop sometimes and realize the things that I've done, because I feel like I need to do some more. And I don't take time to appreciate or even recognize the things that I've done. Because one of the things I've learned about us as humans, we are human doers rather than human beings. We so get caught up in doing things that we don't get stop and just be in the moment.
Mm.
And so now I'm trying to learn to just be in that moment, to really reflect on the things that I have done, because I really don't necessarily recognize them until someone, shared with me that only 3% of the people get their master's degree. I was like, oh, I'm like, that's good to know. So again, I have to sit back and cherish that, and again, and stop looking forward so much. Because even people say, I don't even recognize the impact that I have on people, honestly,
Mm.
because I'm just being me. I
Mm.
mean, I'm not doing anything. I always say I'm not doing anything different than someone else, except that I just got a disability. So, but
Do you think people get you?
I don't even get myself.
Yeah,
So if they get me, hey, more power to them.
But when you tell a joke, are you laughing more than them, or is it equal?
Oh man. Oh, well, I think they laugh. I think it's equal. I think it's equal.
It's always good, when you find you're the last person laughing, you're like, well, it's okay. At least I got it. So,
Right.
uh, there's so many great things, and I must say I'm really struck by your positive attitude and your resilience and your hope, and and it's like I say that you've more than that than there's so many other people I know, and yet you've so many reasons not to, but you've taken that choice, and it's beautiful.
Honestly, Pete, I've been depressed.
Mm,
I don't want to go back there.
sure.
That's the worst thing that one could probably possibly be at, as far as on a mental level. From my, experience, because I didn't want to do anything except die. I thought about starving myself to death, but I like food too much, so that wasn't a good idea.
We'll
Um,
just put some cookie ice cream in front of you, and it's like, yeah,
yeah,
your
like that,
starvation's gone. It's like,
right. So yeah, I mean, even times when I, you know, get frustrated with my situation. I mean, the other night I had, been in the bed and, my mom, was, trying to get me up, and she actually is hurting her wrist real bad and her shoulder. Her wrist on her right hand is swollen, it was sore, and there something wrong with her left shoulder. So she was in a process to getting me up. And then I started feeling, certain way. I started having what is called autonomic dysreflexia, which is basically my body's telling me that something is wrong below my injury since I can't necessarily feel the actual pain. So, when what it does is cause me to have chills and will cause my blood pressure to go up close to stroke level if it gets too bad. So I started, and I was wanting to get out of bed, so I started having, autonomic dysreflexia. Um, And again, I wanted to get in a chair, but I'm like, if I get in a chair, whatever causing it is going to cause me to get back in the bed. And I don't want to necessarily get in the chair and have my mom to actually transfer me back in the bed because her arm is already hurting and shoulders. And so got extremely frustrated, and I was like, hey, just leave me in the bed. I just, work on my computer and work on my book or whatever. I needed to get in the bed when I actually wanted to get in the chair to be able to go outside and chill. So again, that was the whole mental frustration of like, dang man, if I wasn't paralyzed, I wouldn't
mm,
have to deal with that stuff. But I didn't let my mind go there, because if I did, I would have been got depressed. But I did let myself experience the frustration. And I did share it with my mom to be able to get it out, to let her know what's going on. That it's not you, it's just the frustration of having a spinal cord injury, wanting to do something, but not being able to do it because of not only what's going on with me, but I'm being considerate of your well being, your things like that. So, again, I allowed myself to experience it, but I didn't allow myself to dwell on it. So, I found a plan B. Got back in the bed, set up on my computer, start working on something productive.
just let you get out there.
Yeah, so again, the frustration and, you know, I don't want to go back to that spot. So I tend to focus on the bright side of things, because if not, the rainy clouds will never go away.
Mm. Do you have non-negotiables for you that are it's just not happening?
Um, I try to be considerate.
Mm.
I never thought about my non-negotiables. Now you're gonna give me something to think about. I'm about to think about that and write them down.
It it's always. I mean, it's like anything. We can all have our goals, but we can also have the things. It's like a stopgap, I suppose, for me. certain things that just aren't going to happen because unfortunately we can, well, fortunately, unfortunately, we can be quite often tell you the things we don't want quicker than tell them the things we do want. You know,
Yeah.
it's always interesting.
So what are some of your non-negotiables?
For me, it often links back to your values. So it's integrity. So certain things I will never, I'll never do, and I won't sacrifice, you know, my own time or my own integrity for certain things to happen. And
Yeah.
that's the likes of that for me. It's because it connects back to the core of me. And I found in the past if I do break my own values and negotiables, I know I can feel it through ego, I can feel it through my mood, I can feel it through all that. And as you say, then you sort of gotta just sit back and go, oh, this is a weird feeling I'm having. Why am I having that? And it's okay because it's connected to this, and you know, time to put the cookie ice cream back in the fridge.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I can totally understand on that. Integrity. One of the things that I'm working on as far as integrity is self-integrity. And what I mean by that is I tend to like time slot. Like for myself, when I start working on something, I need to, I'm starting to do a time slot for like an hour, because sometimes I start working and I go past an hour. So I was working with one of my coaches, and she told me, she's like, Trenell, when you go past the time that you said that you were going to work on, that's self-betrayal. I was like, She said, because you are betraying yourself by going over the time when you can actually schedule it for some other time so you can work on whatever you had planned after that. So when it comes to self-integrity, that's what I mean. Doing what I'm what I'm doing, what I'm gonna tell myself, doing what I tell myself I'm gonna do, like hour and stopping, rather than betraying myself by going over time. So that's the area of self-integrity that I have to work on.
I love that. And by coincidence, I was talking to a peer this morning, and they were talking about pricing for a contract. And they're saying if they didn't want the contract, they would price high, so that the
Mhm.
client would take a decision to not appointment because of that. And if the client decided to pay the price, then they would just suck it up and they would do the contract, and that would be it. And it kind of almost links back to what you've said. Is kind of going, you've made them make the decision for you. Whereas if you said no, this doesn't, it might be you don't want to work with this person, or it's not worth it, or whatever it is. The self integrity says you just be polite and say it's not for me, thank you, as opposed
So that
to,
was like
yeah, self integrity. I
so,
love that.
so that was almost like self-betrayal.
Mm, yeah. And as you say,
Mm,
what does that tell your mind? Tells your mind it's like the answer is no, unless someone pays you more money, or does this, or does that, or whatever, and then it's not your fault.
exactly. Wow. Yeah, that's self-betrayal. Yeah.
That's so
But
powerful. I love that. I love that. Do you like yourself or love yourself?
I'm telling you, I do now.
Hmm.
And that actually just happened maybe 2 years ago, three. Um, Hold on. And the reason why I say maybe 2, 3 years ago, because one day I was sitting here and I saw a picture of me at my 8th grade, farewell dance, prior to my injury. When it was me, I had on this black tux, looking super fly, and I had my girlfriend beside me. She had on this black dress with this like sparkly bedazzled type thing around her neck. But I had my arm around her because I didn't want no bees to get to my honey. And beside her was her best friend, and my best friend Lewis, well, one of them, he was sitting behind her with his arms around her, looking like he just got out of the prison, me mugging the camera. And so I started looking at that, and I was smiling at first, and then I just started crying. And I just started saying, it hurts. It hurts to be able to sit there and look and be like, man, I would never be able to hug, a girlfriend like that again. I'm like, it hurts that I'll never be able to go, hanging out with my friends like I want to, by myself, being able to walk, anywhere, I want to by myself, like on campus. I'm like, it hurts. But I had to show my compassion and say, but it's gonna be okay. But I'm like, it hurts. I'm like, but it's okay. But I recognized that I had buried emotions of that 14-year-old boy. And that buried emotions are not dead emotions. They will resurrect themselves. And at that time, I finally let that 14-year-old boy grieve. Out of all those years of me, staying strong and,
Mm.
making sure I get through the day to day, looking at the picture made me realize that I may not be able to do those things anymore. And that 14-year-old boy has finally got to cry. And when I did that, that freed me to make me look at myself now. I'm like, man, the 14 boy has cried. He's grieved. He's okay now. But you are awesome, man. Look at what you've gone through and where you are now. So I share that story to let anyone know that you need to look inside yourself. There may be something you've experienced as a child or a traumatic experience that has affected you emotionally. We tend to be emotionally stunted at the age we experience trauma. And until we able to face that emotional pain that we experience, we are stuck at that emotional level. We can be 40 years old, but if we had a situation that's been traumatized at 9 years old, we gonna be that 9 year old. And the way you can see that is how we respond when we don't get what we want.
Mm.
Are we gonna throw a fit and pout and whine like a 9 year old? Or are we gonna respond? Because again, responsibility with the hyphen in between it is your ability to respond to the situation that's your experience. So again, I had to react. I had to let that 14-year-old boy cry. Now I'm able to respond better to the situation and recognize that, hey man, Trenell, you're awesome. Despite the situation, you've gone through a lot. You're good.
You got a killer smile.
Yes, you're killing it and some sexy lips.
I love it. In terms of, again, I suppose it's getting into the spirituality side. I mean, are you of the thinking that your spirit or your soul, that you've been here before, you've had previous lives, higher powers? Where are you at on that stage?
Oh man, been here before. I'm like, man, no, I ain't never had that thought. But as far as a higher power, I wouldn't be able to do it by myself.
Mm.
I already know. And every morning, because like I said, I wake up with fear and uncertainty. And I hear that tender voice say, trust me,
Mm.
trust me. Um, and I actually wrote a poem about that. Because one day I was sitting outside and I had an event happen, you know, in my family. And I ended up hearing, trust me. And like I shared with you before, I like poetry. So here's a poem that I wrote that encourages me every morning about trust me. It's called Trust Me. It says, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. All I want you to do is trust me with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge me, and I will help you keep my commandments. Walk by faith and not by sight, and I'll make your burdens light. Be strong and courageous on a daily basis, and I'll help you win this fight. Just trust me.
beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You're
You
welcome.
could make that into a rap as well. I think this
Yes.
that's like it's like a multi-level poem. I like it. It's great.
Yeah, thank you. And another thing about the whole spiritual thing, and I didn't share this earlier, but when I was going through the whole depression, I had another experience where I had asked someone to do something for me, family member, and they responded in a way that I didn't like. So it made me feel like I was a burden.
Mm,
And so at the time, I wrote this poem that to really help me get it out. And it's called "What Do I Do?" It says, "What do I do when I feel like I'm a burden?" Not to say I'm not, but that's not for certain. When I ask, I'm presented with the frightening mask. Oh, what a contrast. What am I to do? Laugh and simply let it pass? Maybe it's a misinterpretation, distorted imagination concerning the relationship with a chip on my shoulder, heavy like a boulder, weigh me down as I grow older. But then, after I share with you, after I start really looking into myself and really understanding that, hey, I'm not a burden, I'm a blessing, and that I'm a vessel. I'm like, I really like myself, really love myself. I'm like, man, I'm a vessel. And so I wrote this one to encourage myself. And sometimes I look in the mirror and say this to myself: I am a vessel God uses to inspire. I am a vessel that many admire. I am a vessel with a broken neck. I am a vessel that creates a reality check. I am a vessel that many love. I am a vessel that like kisses and hugs. I am a vessel that enjoys life. I am a vessel that seeks to be Christ-like. Yes, I am a vessel. What? I am a vessel. Yes. So again, that's one of the things I learned to, as far as my spiritual side of me, to encourage myself, but also the power of words, because life and death is in the power of the tongue.
are you in alignment now? You know, you sort of you talk about going back and making good with that 14-year-old. You know, that's the hurt and everything that goes with it. You know, do you still or are you now back together?
Yeah. I believe for the most part, like I said, I still have my struggles.
Mm,
But letting the 14-year-old boy grieve
mm,
along with recognizing that where my abandonment and neglect issues come from, because for a while I've always pushed people away,
mm,
and it affected, my relationships with um affected my intimate relationships with my girlfriends, because I had always thought that they would, cheat on me or neglect me and leave me. And I had to start really thinking about, I'm like, my mom and my brother's always been here. I'm like, I had friends, that came to see me, because I used to think my friends, abandoned me, which some of them, wasn't able to handle it.
mm,
But for the most part, I was in the hospital unaware of them being there. So, but I had the support of them being there. And then, and even to this day, I still got friends there with me. So I'm like, where did this feeling of neglect and abandonment come from? And 2 years ago, no, yeah, 2 years ago, it hit me. I was like, my dad. I was like the most important person that should have been there for me growing up. He wasn't in the way that I needed him to be as a child. Because I have a good relationship with him as an adult. So it was one of the hardest things I ever done, but it's one of the best things I ever done, was to go back to him and just share with him, what it felt like with him not being there, as a child and stuff I experienced. But to be able to look him in the eye and let him know that I forgave him. And being able to forgive somebody takes the burden off of took the burden off of me, and put it in his court. Because now, whatever he done, like I didn't like it, but I forgive you for it. And I'm telling you, Pete, the weight came off my shoulder and I was able to live life. And now I'm able to have those intimate relationships, with my girlfriends and the, friends and people in my life. Um, because I was able to forgive my pops and recognize what intimacy means is in to me see mutual sharing and caring. So if anybody's going through something and they may be holding on to a grudge of something that a parent done to them, a brother, sister, someone in their life, and come to a point where you can forgive that person so you can live.
I love that. I mean, it's to feel that, and even when you speak, what comes across, and I suppose even just what I'm writing down, is like a beautiful, free, clean soul, and you
Mhm.
can see that in you, that you've just let it go, and
Yes.
it's awesome. That just radiates from you, which is beautiful.
Well, thank you, man. Sometimes you have to let go. They say, I always hear, man, you have to let go and let God. A lot of times I learned that you have to experience it, express it, and let it go.
Even in the poem that you talked about, it's not necessarily what you see. It's you know it's about faith. It's having the faith that the right thing will happen, or just let it go,
Mhm.
and the right thing will happen at the right time.
Yeah.
Janelle, it's been awesome talking to you. An absolute
Man.
pleasure. And listen, you're a beautiful human being. You're so young. You've got listen, I'm looking forward to seeing where you're going. I mean, this is, compared to some of these guys up on stages, you've got 25, 30 years on them, so so many bright things ahead. So tell us, where can people reach out to you? Where can they follow you and basically learn from you?
Um, so basically, you can follow me on Facebook. You can go to Triumph Beyond Limits on there. That's where you receive a lot of inspiring, motivational things.
And come
And
November
you can,
time, we can go
yeah,
for the book.
yeah, you can also go to triumphbeyondlimits.org to find more information about me. And I have a Triumph Beyond Limits Instagram as well.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
And we've got the book to look forward to, and there's loads going on.
yeah, definitely. And I would just like to leave an encouraging poem with the audience. That's
Please.
okay with you? All right. Just like I said, that I am a vessel, you are a vessel. You are a vessel being used to inspire. You are a vessel climbing higher and higher. You are a vessel that can get up and get. You are a vessel that someone loves and respects. You are a vessel that can move around. You are a vessel that turns frowns upside down. You are a vessel that enjoys life. You are a vessel that's soaring to higher height. Yes, you are a vessel. What? You are a vessel. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. I
My
love that.
pleasure.
There's so many opportunities there. So now I'm extremely grateful for having you on. For sharing so much and for giving your time and your energy. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. So thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. And thank you for, allowing me to share. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. For now, thank you.
All right. You have a great evening.